Hello, my name is Bruce Whitfield, and this is homework 5. Right here, I have a JK flip-flop with an asynchronous set. So I've set this up with an entity with the inputs of J, K, S, and clock, and the output of Q and Q bar. The architecture I've set up with a signal temp that holds Q's value. Now the process's sensitivities list is a clock. And it's a synchronous clock, so that's why it is in the sensitivity list and not set. Next here, for this first if statement, this detects a rising edge. And if it does detect a rising edge, then temp it will equal J. This next if statement is for set, and it's there to detect set. And if set is detected, temp will equal 1. Next, I will show my test bench. Alright. My test bench is set up with an entity, and the architecture is set up with the signals of the inputs and outputs of the JK flip-flop with the asynchronous set. And I have created a component for the JK flip-flop with an asynchronous set. And right here is where I instantiate that component. Next, I have so the JK flip-flop responds to the rising edge. So I've set up every possibility that there could be between clock, J, K, and S. And that would mean 16 different options, possibilities. And so I start off with clock equals 0, J, K, and S equals 0. Then I go to rising edge, clock equals 1, J, K, and S equals 0. And then I go to clock equals 0, J equals 1, K equals 0, S equals 0. Rising edge, J equals 1, K equals 0, S equals 0, and so on and so forth. Next, I will show my waveform. Now on the waveform, when J, K, clock, and S are all 0, Q and Q bar are undefined. Whenever all the inputs are 0 except for clock, then Q is equal to 0 and Q bar is equal to 1. When J is 1, K is 0, clock is 0, and S is 0, the values still stay at 0 and 1 for Q and Q bar because clock nor set aren't enabled. Next, I have J is 1, K is 0, clock is 1, set is 0, and because of clock being enabled, and J being equal to 1, that causes Q to be 1 and Q bar to be 0. Next, I have J is 0, K is 1, clock is 0, and S is 0. Because clock and S are disabled, the values for Q and Q bar hold at 1 and 0. Next, I have J is 0, K is 1, clock is 1, S is 0, and because clock is enabled and J is 0, that results in Q being 0 and Q bar being 1. Next, I have J is 1, K is 1, but clock and S are 0, which results in Q and Q bar remaining the same values. Next, I have J is 1, K is 1, clock is 1, and 0 is 1. S is 0. That results in Q being 1 and Q bar being 0. Next, I have J is 0, K is 0, and clock is 0. But S is 1. And therefore, it sets, because the values for Q is 1 and Q bar is 0. Next, I have, and the reason why the values of Q and Q bar are 1 and 0 as in the other transition is because clock is set to 0 and it's not enabled. Next, I have J is 0, K is 0, and clock is 1, and S is 1. So Q is equal to 0 and Q bar is equal to 1. This is my waveform for the JK flip-flop with an asynchronous set. This is the end of the video.